Okay, we're live.
We are live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another, hopefully, an extraordinarily exciting and special edition of Lunch with Len. This is Len, and as you know, we have a special guest today. But before that, it's July 26th. I just want to put the date down so that we can note it in the file. This is being recorded, of course, and we have an incredibly special guest today. We have Linda Bomba with us, the Bombinator, and we've been waiting for weeks, months, years to get her on the show, and I really have. And Linda's schedule and our schedule just hasn't gelled up until the last couple of weeks, and I'll let her tell you the reasons for that. But you know, Linda is doing a phenomenal job in the industry. She's a gold in and we're all in Asante, so we're going to talk freely. She's a gold in Asante. She's an L2 and MLSP. She's been doing the business for I don't quite know how long. I'll let her tell her story, because I'm sure she can do a better job than I can. So, Linda, come on out here and say hi to the folks.
Hey, Len, thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody hopping on. It's good to be here, and I know we had some challenges because of a work schedule, and I haven't told very many people, but a couple of weeks ago I got laid off again. So this isn't as bad as the first time I lost my job, because at least I have other income streams, which until I got into this business, that was not something, honestly, I never even thought about, you know, having more one stream of income. You just think, oh, I'll have a job, and then you lose it. But I started actually looking for ways, and actually it was September of 2011 after I lost my job for money on the internet, and I didn't know anybody at that time to ask, so I just Googled make money online. And I think I bought a website, and I set up some pay-per-click ads, and I was driving traffic to the website, but I wasn't getting any conversions. And I know now those kinds of websites don't convert very well. And actually, I landed into the space by accident. I was on Facebook one night in my frustration. I guess you got to go back to July of 2012 looking for a job. And I clicked an ad that said 100% commissions, and it happened to be an ad for Empower Network. That was kind of the first people that I met when I came on Facebook. And none of the people actually, like how I know you, or probably any of the people here. And a lot of them aren't around anymore. And I kind of did the best I could with that, because they were telling me things like, you don't need an autoresponder, and go just slam your links all over the Facebook groups, which and with the autoresponder, I think you absolutely need an autoresponder. Then I guess it was in 2013, I heard Diane Hockman speak a couple times with a company I was with that actually went out of business, an MLM. And I started checking her out, and then that's when I joined the MLSP, like in April of 2013. And you know, MLSP has really been, I'm a product of the product, because I mean, I was like everybody else on Facebook, running around trying to get somebody to you know, sign up with you, and nothing about the attraction marketing or putting value out into the marketplace. So that's how I got here, and it's been actually, it'll be 5 years in September.
Wow. So you were actually being taught to spam links all over the place? That's what they were teaching back then?
Yeah. And I remember when I first met Diane, actually, she came here. I was in MLSP for a few months. Her and Larry came here for something, and they were at a hotel that, actually one of the hotels that's down by the airport, and I live close to the airport. And I met her in person. And I kept, you know, we were talking about that. And I said, well, I'm getting leads from that. You know, and I was generating leads. And she goes, yeah, but they're not professional marketers. And I remember when she said that to me, I didn't know what she meant. I mean, that's where I was, because that's all I knew. And I think you can use the groups to a certain effect, but I think, you know, if you're going to do it this way, what I know now, you want to do value. And if you're going to do, I mean, if you do go put videos in the groups, nobody's doing that. I mean, there's so much noise in those groups but that's all I was doing. And when she started saying things like that to me, and then just what MLSP teaches us, you know, with the you know, picking one marketing strategy. I mean, I just didn't know any of that. And I don't think any of them did. And they were just looking for, yeah, you can get free leads that way, but there's so many other things out there that you can do to generate leads.
Yeah, so the kinds of leads you were getting weren't high quality at all.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I've been using the group. We got some people on here that I know are using the groups, and I've been using the groups. But what I do, I mean, like I post my Coffee with Len video up in about 25 groups.
I've seen you.
Yeah, and all I'm using it for is to. I mean, there's no ad in it. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just using it to create awareness so that people sort of know my face. They've seen my face.
Mm-hmm.
They know who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
occasionally I throw out an ad, and they're going to hopefully recognize me sooner or later. Some of them are
Right.
recognizing me. So I mean, I think that helps. I do get leads. I get people clicking on my videos and liking the videos and stuff.
No, it's definitely a way to get you out there. But I think if you are going to use them, I mean, I go in there, it's just people, they're spamming their links, and it's like, join my deal. I just don't think even anywhere, even on your profile, you just don't want to put a business link. I mean, you're really going to push people away from it. It's not attraction marketing either. And, I think that really is true. The more value you put in the marketplace, the more money you'll make.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what I teach. I mean, we don't put up links.
Right.
You just put value into the marketplace, every place. Yeah. So tell us about, how did you find your way into Asante? And you've done a really, I mean, where does Bombinator come from?
Organic Bombinator. Jody Andrews thought of that, and then Doug stole it from her. And they both started saying that, and that I should use that. And I never really thought, I mean, when I first saw it, Jody will come over to my timeline, and the little characters, she'll put stuff there. And she started saying you should use that. So I did get a domain name of that. That's where that came from. It was, and Doug admits that he stole it from Jody. So I'll go on record with that. But that's where that came from. And as a kid, I got teased a lot about my last name. I mean, they used to go over the intercom when I was in high school and calling Dr. Bomba, from Bewitched. So, I mean, that's not new to me, but her coming up, Jody and Doug Stoll came up with the Organic Bombinator. But how did I find Asante? Actually, Mary Ellen Duchesne, I knew Mary Ellen. I saw her around, MLSP, and she's in a private group with me that I'm with. Diane Hockman's my upline in MLSP. And she left me a video one night, just kind of introducing herself, which was a kind of a cool way in chat to introduce yourself. And she challenged me to do a video back to her, which I kind of thought that was funny, because at this point, I've probably cut over 1,200 videos. And she was saying how some people are challenged by getting on video. They're, and we were kind of touching on that, being self-conscious. They don't want to get on camera. And so she wanted a video back. She goes, I want to know your story. So I gave her, actually, it's probably the most emotional video I've ever cut. And it's the longest one. It's like 9 minutes. I mean, I really get emotional on it. And I gave it to her. And most people, I scare her away. I didn't scare her away. And then it wasn't long after that, she approached me. I knew she knew Doug. She asked me about Asante, and I started looking at it. I've never been involved with network marketing. And I'm learning more about it. And, when I saw the compensation plan and she was working with Doug, and I had kind of been looking for something other than, I had really been concentrating on MLSP. And I think you can make a decent amount of money with MLSP, but it's not a business opportunity. And before I lost my job, I had started taking organic products. And when I lost my job, I was looking at ways of cutting back. And that I was paying $15 for a bottle of shampoo. So that kind of got out of my, for the time being. Then, I was looking at it, I just decided, it's between that and MLSP, it's probably two of the best decisions I've made since I came online.
When you lost your job, you mean the first time? Or back in
2011. Actually, that was worse because I was making a hell of a lot more money. I'm still in my house. I was in foreclosure. At 2013, 2014, where I was in foreclosure, I had gone through all my savings. I had been borrowing money from people and pissing people off. I maxed out my credit cards. I had hardly any money coming in. It was a lot worse because, I really thought I could find a job. I looked for a year. I worked in cancer research for 16 years. And then the job I did end up getting, I got a part-time job in a call center making $12.50 an hour.
Oh my God.
And I was grateful for that job every single day. I got some health insurance. I put money in my pocket. At one point I was eating expired moldy food because I didn't have any. I mean, I was about an inch away from foreclosure. The only reason I'm still in my house was I got approved from a state program in the state of Pennsylvania. They've been paying my mortgage for me. It's a program you apply for. They only take 25% of you. I don't know why they took me, but if they didn't help me out, they got me out of foreclosure. And actually, I was just getting ready before I lost this job. I was going to go refinance my mortgage because I could lower the interest rate. Because it's the original mortgage. I moved into this house in 2008, but I've been grateful for that job every day. But I realize it served its purpose. It kept me alive. I wouldn't have had money to pay for MLSP. I wouldn't have had money to pay for my autoresponder or join Asante. It's not that much. I don't think $500 is a lot to get started with a business, but I wouldn't have had that money, and nobody was going to lend it to me. So. We were talking about the personal development. A lot of this is personal development because I just started digging into that. I write my intentions out in the day, and there's things I've needed that I just intended, and they came to me. I needed a car. My car broke down. It's, if you're not plugged into the personal development, you start I think I got so desperate at one point, I just started listening to people. And if you listen to people in the space, I feel blessed and grateful. The terms they use, and you start studying all the, it's all biblical. It goes back centuries to the Bible. We've been walking around. I've been walking around most of my life until I learned this stuff. You start applying it. That's when stuff started happening for me. There's no else way to tell you that. But yeah, it's so I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, well, as you and I were saying, I'm a huge believer in personal development. And I see your question, Jackson. Hang on for a minute. We'll get there. I'm a huge believer in personal development. And the same thing is true of me. And I spent most of my life walking around in a negative state because that's what I was programmed for when I was a kid growing up. So many of us were, and especially in a negative state about money. And, my God, you lose your job, your house is in foreclosure, your car's not running, and it's really hard. It's really hard to get positive so that you can dig yourself up out of that.
Right. And it's when you're in that position and this job market, if you're over 40, it's really bad. I know people that couldn't even get an interview. And Eric Worre says it in his book. I mean, if somebody's not looking at another income stream and not considering doing network marketing at this point, because I think in another 10 years, Social Security won't be here, at least, where I'm at, or Medicare, all those programs. Yeah. And I think the economy is worse than today than it was 5 years ago. That's my opinion. But I mean, if you don't, I never thought, until I started listening to people saying about the income streams, I never thought about it. I just never did. And if you're out of work for a long time, you burn through your savings. I mean, I was writing checks against my visa at one point to pay my mortgage.
Right. No, I absolutely know that situation very, very well. Those who know me know that I had a flight school in 2008. It was a $5 million a year business, and I had 120 students. By 2010, I had 20 students. I laid off 45 people in 2009. And that's the very short version. By 2011, I was absolutely, totally rock bottom destitute, penniless. June of 2011, I was penniless, absolutely penniless. But you said something that I want to come back to, and Jackson's asking a couple questions. Can you see the chat, by the way?
I can. Do you want me to answer Jackson's question?
We can. Well, we certainly are going to answer it. The question is, do you want to answer it now, or let's?
I'll answer it now. Actually, Jackson, I have to tell you that the biggest product that's had the biggest impact on me are the greens. And actually, I ran out of them a week ago, and I have a really, I'll say it's a sweet tooth. I crave sugar. I eat too much of it, and when I started taking the greens, it's curbed my sugar craving. And it's funny because I ran out of it a week ago, and this past week, since I haven't been on it, my auto ship will probably be at my house by Friday. I haven't been taking them. I ran out of them, and then I've been craving the sugar again. The other product actually that I love, I'm not getting a benefit from it, but I love it's no medical benefit or health benefit. I love the smell of mango shampoo. It's the smell of it. But I believe in the toxic I mean, I did work in cancer research. It does cause cancer. I mean, actually, I just met somebody on Facebook the other night. I sent her some samples of the toothpaste. She has cancer. She's on a prescription toothpaste. I think it's Colgate that she has to take because it doesn't have any of that in it. And she was going to try. I said, talk to your doctor talk to your oncologist about it because, I mean, I didn't want her taking something without him. She's on a prescription toothpaste, and I know she was back in the hospital. I haven't talked to her, but I know it, and people don't want to hear it, but the stuff that we put on or in our bodies, it's causing cancer. I worked in that field, and it's, yeah, they can cure some cancers now, but I'd rather not get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, since you worked in cancer, let's sort of go down that rabbit hole a little bit, because we've talked a fair amount. In fact, we've been doing this program called Toxic Talk every Thursday evening. Jackson's been pushing it, and we've talked about cancer several times. But what do you think about the whole process of alkalizing, for example, and not just the stuff we put on our body, but the alkalization process?
I mean, and actually, until I joined Asante, and Jackson will probably laugh at me that the strips that they send you to, you just take this. I didn't know what that was, when I was going through my pack, and I started doing that. And actually, I'll have to keep you updated on because mine, when I first took the strip, I was off the wall, with the high and the low.
Yeah.
And I dropped the stuff in like if I have coffee in the morning. And I haven't been doing it long enough, but I want to see what that does. But I never thought about it. And it's, it is true. I mean, there's all this stuff, and that's one thing. Hey, Junie, that I have gotten from Asante about the alkalizing. And you don't hear. Interesting enough, I worked around a lot of MDs. You don't hear them talking about that. There are some of them. I mean, some of them are more open-minded with the complementary therapies, and there's things like acupuncture and massage, which I'm a huge advocate of both of those. That there are health benefits to all of that, and a lot of MDs, they'll just turn their nose up at it. It depends on the doc, but there's a couple cancer places in the U.S. Cancer treatments of actually I shouldn't say a name like that, but they're moving towards that they're doing just not the traditional treatments, but the massage, the acupuncture. And I've used the acupuncture, and I've had great success with it on a couple of things. And the Chinese have been using it for years.
5,000 years.
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah.
Actually, I used acupuncture too in my life for a couple of different things, and I've had great success with it. I'm a firm believer in alternative medicines, and my daughter's a chiropractor. She's actually an extraordinarily good one, and I'm not just prejudiced because she's my doctor.
Okay.
I've been to a number of different chiropractors, and she's very, very good at what she does. But the other interesting thing is, and like you say, I've got a friend, a childhood friend. This guy's been my buddy since second grade. He's back on the East Coast. He came down with cancer this year, and I've talked, and he had cancer on his vocal cords, and I've talked to him about alkalizing, and his nutritionist poo-pooed it and told him that that's a bunch of bunk. You don't have to. And it's like, and so now, I can't get him. I mean, I've been sending him stuff, and it's just like hammering a brick wall. It's with a nutritionist or an MD. I mean, I had where the acupuncture is concerned, I've had a lifetime of sinus problems in my life. I've had nasal surgery twice, and I had it in 92, and then I had it again in 2001. The doctor I saw in 2001, I think he's a good doctor. He operated on me. I had a sinus infection for something ridiculous, like 6 or 8 weeks. I was on antibiotics and nothing was clearing it up. And I remember going in and I said to him, and I had taken so many antibiotics, you name it, I took it. I was worried that I was building up a resistance. You do, because you start taking it. Let me stop for just a second. Has anybody besides Junie lost sound? If you have, please let me know in the chat, okay? And Junie, if you could, I guess if you've lost sound, you can't hear me, but I just sent you a message. I apologize for the interrupt.
That's okay.
Let's come back, please.
And I remember going in saying to him, I mean, I've been on all these antibiotics. I said, you know what? I said, I'm really worried. developing a resistance to these antibiotics, I'm thinking about going and seeing an acupuncturist. And he rolled his eyes and he said, because you just got to come in here and let me look at you when, you're at the height of the infection and figure out what's going on here. And at that point I had it with the antibiotics. I didn't want to have a third surgery. I went and saw an acupuncturist. I saw her once for my sinuses. That was 2004. I haven't had an infection since. I've had at least 100 sinus infections in my life. And after I saw that acupuncturist, I haven't had an infection.
Since 2004?
Right.
That is so incredibly awesome.
If you don't think acupuncture works, I mean, depending on what you're seeing them for, I've seen them for some other things. I tell people, don't expect just to go once and your problem's going to be cleared up. But I mean, I tried it for some other things and I got positive results out of it. Debbie Durdorf is saying it's buffered for a couple seconds.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. We're off on a slight tangent, but I've had several experiences with acupuncture. One of them was a quit smoking program. And I was an absolute 100% committed 4-pack a day.
Wow.
For 20 years. And people look at me, 4 packs a day, wow. That's impossible. Yeah, no, it's not impossible. I can explain how to do it. But I walked into an acupuncturist on a Tuesday, had my first treatment. Between Tuesday and Wednesday morning, from 4 packs, I went down to like a half a pack. Wednesday, I had my second treatment, walked out, never lit another cigarette in my life. That was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The urge was absolutely, totally gone, and the withdrawal symptoms they simply weren't there. They were gone. I had a third and final treatment on Thursday, but it was, to me, I mean, yes, my mind was ready for it.
Right.
But the acupuncture really provided incredible support. So I really believe in all of that stuff. And
it's helped a lot of people.
Yeah, and also chiropractic. One of our very good friends was in a very bad auto accident a couple of weeks ago, and the doctors are telling her she doesn't need to see a chiropractor. She was turned around, twisted when she was T-boned, and
there are a lot more open-minded chiropractors.
Yeah. So it's just awesome. So tell us, all right. So but let's come back to, we got a lot of people on here that are in Asante. They want to build the Asante, their Asante teams. What would you tell them to do? Let's get all these people, everyone who's on here, listen up. Every one of you are going to be gold. You're going for gold. Now let's get it done.
You want to know what I've done to build Asante?
Absolutely. Tell people how to get gold.
Most of the people I've brought in, they're my warm market on Facebook. I have built a market on Facebook. But the other thing I'm doing, and I put a video, I have a private Facebook group for my team. And if you guys, and I think a lot of this too is consistency, sticking with it, because I've been using, I've got a bunch of ads right now on Craigslist. If you're on 100-point auto ship, if you send an email to Asante with a receipt or a screenshot of your receipt that you're on 100-point auto shop, they'll send you a free ads pack. And there's a ton, it's over 80 pages. They go over with you. I picked Craigslist because I was a little familiar with it, and I really didn't know anything about it. I probably was in Asante for about a month. I started putting ads up, not knowing about and Craigslist has its issues like Facebook. I had 100 ads up. They deleted most of them because they look at your IP address and your email. I stuck with it. And right now I've got about 33 up. And I just actually, I've been getting leads from it. I just signed one person that was a lead I got from Craigslist. And I have a couple other people that are interested. They want to sign. It's a matter, I think, of them coming up with money. But I've been using that strategy too. And at one point, I just wanted to kind of throw it up in the air and say, screw this, because, you have to go through all those phone calls. You call people, the phone number doesn't work. Their voicemail's not set up. You leave messages, they don't call you back. But between Facebook and now I'm using Craigslist, because I have approached a bunch of people on Facebook. I've probably got about 600 people on a list. I call it drip feeding. They haven't said no. but they haven't said yes either. I've probably got 12 or so that have told me they're going to sign up. I just kind of keep drip feeding on them until they say no to me. And I'm working that list too. Those are mostly people on Facebook. But those are the two things I've really been doing. And like on Saturday, I must have talked to 56 people. I got a lot of no's. Some people won't answer you. And a lot of it, I think, too, is following up. There's people that if I hadn't followed up with them, that they did end up signing at some point, not maybe the first time I talked to them. But that's basically what I've done. I've been really leveraging the three-way call. I get somebody that says, yeah, I'm open. I'll get them to a presentation and then get them on a call. And I think when we get the software in a couple weeks, that'll help, because I made a funnel of my own. If I do promote it on social media, so I get the lead and I can follow up with them.
Right. Yeah. I've got a capture page out there that leads into the Toxic Talk videos.
Mm-hmm.
But if they click on it and fill it out, I get a lead. So yeah. So are you finding on social media? You're just doing free advertising, or not free advertising? You're not doing paid ads. You're doing all of these.
Right now I have a likes ad running. I had to delete my fan page because I haven't been able to get an ad run. So I'm trying to build up. The other page had more going on. I may take, if you look at the ads book we get from Asante, they do have some suggestions in there for doing Facebook ads. That I may try running one of those. And really, paid advertising for me is really kind of a new thing that I've wanted to learn. So I've got the paid likes ad up. I may try to run one for Asante. And I'm going to be doing some webinars that I don't know if they'll be related to Asante, but just try driving people to a webinar and ad to see, because webinars you can generate a lot of leads, and just getting them in my funnel to talk to them. But I haven't, and actually all the ads I have on Craigslist, I'm not paying for them. There is a way to run ads on Craigslist and you don't pay for them. There's a paid way too, but if you took like the 30 or so ads I have right now, I'd be spending about $700 or $800 in advertising. It's not costing me anything. So, if you work that strategy, and Angie and JJ, who she's the chief marketing officer of Asante and he's the president, Craigslist was their strategy. The ads book that we get, they're basically taking what they did, because they've made, if you read her little thing in there, she's saying that they made millions off of that. I know a lot of people think you're fishing. That's the way I kind of look at it. When you're on Facebook or it's Craigslist or whatever else, you're fishing, because it's a sorting thing. And some people don't, I talk to people that are in the MLM, they're not interested in Asante. I kind of point them to our, MLSP, because, say, how are you doing with lead generation? But there's a lot of people, no matter what we're doing with Asante, the timing, and some people don't get the timing with this. They just don't understand that. And, you're kind of just sorting, and if you go through 100 people, the chances are you're going to, at least if you're talking to that many people, you're going to find a couple people that would be willing to raise their hand and say, yeah, be open to looking.
Okay. So the usual ratios we talk about in network marketing is out of every 10 people, you'll find at least one or two that'll look. You're right. Finding a smaller number than that, or is that the consistent ratio?
It's probably about that for like every 100. And then, it's sometimes too, there's people that they don't say, I'm not open to looking, but they're saying I'm busy, call me back like in a month. And it's just one of those things that kind of make if you start, but it is a numbers game. I found too that when you do bring people in, 80% of people aren't interested in building, 20% are looking to build. And with network marketing, they like the product, so they stay on an auto ship. An affiliate program, I think, is much different. But I agree with you with the numbers. I'm thinking 10 to 20%, and I feel like I'm getting somewhere between 10 and 20%. They're saying, yeah, I'll look. And then it's probably about 4 or 5% that actually end up signing.
Right. Okay. That's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent numbers. Yeah. I've been teaching, I've been doing a Tuesday night webinar, which, by the way, I'm going to put up an ad right now. Don't forget, folks, that they're on here, that tonight at 5 o'clock, we have, I think it'll be week 4, maybe week 3. I don't remember how many we've done. Maybe this is the third one of Digging for Gold, which is our roll up your sleeves, go to work, and dig in on social media, and let's go find some leads. So 5 o'clock tonight, lenmooney.com, digging. Oh, actually, lenmooney.com/gold is the, it's out there all over the place. So we've been doing that every week, and I'm trying to help people with the, I don't know what to say. I don't know where to find people. I think this is the right link, lenmooney.com/gold. But yeah, anyhow, if you click on that link, that should take you to the registration page. And this isn't a sit back in your seat and watch webinar. It's a roll up your sleeves and go to work webinar. We're doing some training. So, and we're past the top of the hour. I don't want to keep you a whole lot longer. It's actually fascinating talking to you. But so, I mean, so let me ask you, you just got laid off from your job again. Right. Are you going to go back and look for a job anymore, or are you all done with that world?
I had to tell you, I had to call my mother, she lives on the West Coast, and I knew she was going to ask me that. And I said, no, Mom. I said, I'm not. And then, I mean, you know, the worry and all that. And she didn't want to hear it, and she doesn't want to hear about this business. But no, and you know what? It's so time consuming anymore. You could spend 2 hours on one application now because of what they're asking you to do, and they may not even call you. No, I'm not. I mean, now unemployment, because I am getting some unemployment, they may come down on me and I'll deal with that.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. You've made the transition from the job world to the online home-based business world.
Yeah, it's I mean, when I go on Facebook and the people that you know, on Monday morning, how it kind of thins out, and or the people are getting their last minute whatever because they got to get back to work. It's, you know, and the blitz calls we're doing, that really is true. I mean, you know, there's so many people, they hate what they're doing, and they're getting up on Monday morning and they hate the thought of going into work.
We've been there. Yeah. Hey, so help our folks here. If they want to get in touch with you, they want to learn more about you. Now, I know you also do coaching. You do, you know, what do you have for the folks if they want to learn more or get some help from you?
You can come to my blog, lindabomba.net. You can message me on Facebook. I'm also every day, Monday through Friday at noon, I'm doing Facebook Live. It's free home business training. Come over to my fan page, Success with Linda Bomba. I'll be on there every day. If you got a topic, let me know. I'll cover it. Or if I don't know, I'll get somebody to come on with me.
Noon. That's noon Eastern time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that basically collides with the Doug Fireball Millionaire Roadshow.
It does, because he starts a few minutes after that, and yeah, I thought about that. But I know there's looked at other times. It's conflicting with other things.
Well, that's why I'm doing the webinar I do on Tuesday. That's why I'm doing it at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. I'm just trying to find a time slot that doesn't conflict with too many things out there, because everything is full. You know, there's so many things going on, so many webinars and so much stuff. So it's really is. You know, hey, well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here today. This was really awesome, a lot of fun. I think we learned a lot. We could keep talking forever. Yeah, Rick, congratulations on being laid off. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, but no, thanks for having me. This was fun.
It is awesome. I'd like to maybe have you come back again in a couple months or something sometime.
Okay, let me know. I'll be around. Yeah, Jackson dries his slippers. I work in my jammies.
Yeah. Well, the reason, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's taken me so long to get Linda on the show is because she had this job that kept interfering with her ability to live her life.
Right.
Now, the good news is the universe has fixed that for her.
It did. So,
yes. Hooray, universe! Thank you.
Thank you.
We believe in the law of attraction. We absolutely believe in the law of attraction. Linda's brain has been attracting this layoff for a long time.
I have manifested it.
It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. So thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Where do you live?
I live outside Philadelphia. Pennsylvania.
Okay. I was actually born and raised in Pittsburgh.
Okay. That's probably about a 5-hour drive, or at least 6-hour drive from here. But yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I hope everybody, there is a recording of this. It'll be available. I'll put it up in Lunch with Len in a little while. So if somebody wants to go back, grab the replay, it'll be there. And other than that,
See you later.
bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, Linda.